Hello there. Hello again if you were with me the first time. It's Kelly Pullum, also known as Craft and Granny here. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In Canada, and tonight I'm going to share with you how to make some cards using the Walk in the Woods Designer Series paper. And this is a fundraising project for Stampin' Up! They will donate $4 from every purchase of this product to the Salvation Army in Canada, to support families in need over the holidays. So this is something that I'm really happy to be a part of, and I hope that you will be too. Hi, Catherine. Good to see you tonight. I'm hoping that there may even be people here who are interested in purchasing tonight the Designer Series paper and the 2 ink pads that you would need to make these cards. And if you do purchase those products, I will mail you the materials needed, the kit pieces, to make these cards, free with the purchase of the Designer Series paper and 2 stamp sets, or 2 ink pads. So that's an offer that I'm making. It'll be available for the next week if anyone wishes to make that purchase. And then after that, the offer will be over. I'm going to switch us over, to the desktop here. Hi, Tracy. So that you can see here. There we go. So this is the mini catalog, and the paper that I'm referring to is right at the front of the catalog. It's beautiful holiday paper. You can see that it's got some traditional holiday colors as well as some blues, which are great for winter cards if you don't use it all before the holidays. And as I said, this is a Making a Difference product. Stampin' Up! Is donating $4 from every purchase to the Salvation Army in Canada. So what I did, I'm using a variety of products tonight. You do not have to have all these products to make the cards. What you would need is to have a stamp set for sentiments. Okay, so I am using the, I forget what this is, the snowflake folder, embossing folder. I've forgotten what it's called in the mini catalog. I'm using the Berry Cute stamp set, and particularly this Merry Christmas for the cards tonight. I'm using the Merriest Trees bundle, the Love and Joy, for the cards tonight. And I have used the Merriest Tree dies to cut out parts of the Designer Series paper that coordinate with this, this bundle. And I've used the Polar Bear Punch. Now, I cannot do that for you when you order the Designer Series paper because, of course, the paper will go to you, and I would mail you the pieces in the kit that are not in the Designer Series paper. But these images that I'm using tonight would be really easy to fussy cut. This would be the hardest one, and it would not be a hard image to fussy cut. And the other ones are trees, which would be very easy to fussy cut. So, so you wouldn't have any problem with that. I'm also using a die from these Deckled Circles dies. These are a new product in the mini catalog as well, and they are just amazingly versatile. So I'll set these aside. And I'm going to pull in the Designer Series paper. So in this pack of paper, there were 2 sheets of cardstock, or pattern paper, sorry, that had these trees on them. On the other side, it was just a pattern like this. I cut out both sheets of the paper just by kind of cutting, bubble cutting, and then die cutting and punching. So I got 8 bears out of the, 2, 4, 6, and I think I had 8 altogether. And then all of these trees, oh, there's even more here. Look at that. All these bears came from 2 sheets of the Designer Series paper. And then all of these trees. So tonight, I am going to use one of these guys. And I'm going to use this one, which is on the edge. And then I'm going to use this one, which I cut off the edge. and one of these. And I think that is it. So I'm not using any of the pretty peacock ones this time. Now I want to show you a little bit of the patterns in the paper. So there's this beautiful stripe. There's this one with some pine trees on it. On the back, you've got some holly berries. On the back of this one, you've got some more beautiful bears and trees. Just pull out some of the other patterns here for you. I think you saw that one. We've also got this one, which is very versatile, and some more pine cones and berries. And this is another beautiful pattern. So I really do love this paper. I think it's one that you would use for all different kinds of cards. All right. So we'll put that aside. I am going to have to be cutting some of my paper tonight because I frankly did not get prepared as early as I should have today. The day got away from me. We've all been sick around here, and my little grandson was sick today and home from school, so I suggested to my son that he stay here because no sense in spreading the germs to his home. So anyway, so we had little Aiden here today as well. All right, so I'm going to pull this, sorry, oh boy, try and settle this down a little bit here and get my pattern paper. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this one. So these are both cut at 4 inches. And what I did for this, I cut this stripe so that it wasn't right out of the edge. I want to show you how I did this. So I had this piece, and I had a little strip off the end. I've lost it now. There it is. So when you go to cut, oh, Jeanette, great, welcome back. So when you go to cut a pattern paper and you want to cut it, I knew I wanted to get it kind of balanced. I didn't want the stripes to, you know, to be heavy with red on one side and not the other. So what I did is I took this patterned paper and I kind of figured out 4 inches, and I knew that I could get all of these stripes in and it would be fairly balanced. So I trimmed a bit of the green off and then measured my 4 inches rather than cutting right from the outside edge and cutting in 4 inches. I hope that makes sense. So then I'm going to cut here. I've got 1 1/4 inches of this stripe. And I'm going to cut 2 inches twice with this pattern. There we go. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn these over and line them up. And I'm going to use some tear and tape on the back to help hold these in place. Tear and tape is actually one of our least expensive adhesives. And if it's something that you enjoy using, I would highly recommend it because it's I think less expensive even than our tape runners. So it is a good choice when you're using adhesives. So here we go. Whoops, don't want to tear the paper. There we go. So I've got that. And now I'm going to line it up here. The silicone mat is great to work on because the glue won't adhere to it, but I'm finding the paper is resisting moving on it a little bit. There we go. Now, if you don't want to use your tear and tape, you can just use Scotch tape for this. But of course, now that I've used the tear and tape, that will help adhere my piece to the card front. So I'm using a cherry cobbler base. This is a standard card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Oh, it's turning out the color is not looking very cherry cobbler on there tonight, is it? It's looking a little more real red or poppy parade. That's funny, my colors must be off. Hi, Marilyn. Here we are. So we've got our card base there. Trying to find my tape runner here. Here it is. So I am going to apply some of that here at the top and at the bottom. Then I'm going to just use my pokey tool, and the easiest way to do this is to go kind of in from the side to get the tear and tape off. So make sure it's pressed down well, come in from the side, and then you can just pick that up and off, and that works really easily. Okay, so make sure it's down hard, come in from the side, and it will lift off very easily there. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to lay it across my card front. I'm going to try and get my top and my sides going with an 1/8 of an inch border. And then the rest should fall into place. Okay, now I have cut out a tag using the die from the Merriest Trees. And of course, if you ordered the paper and the stamp pads tonight, I will be pre-cutting this piece for you, as well as the card base and so on. So I'm going to take this tag, I'm going to add some adhesive here to this little piece, which is going to go over top of my tag. There. Now, because I applied this adhesive using the silicone mat, it's not going to stick to the mat, and I can kind of push the adhesive out of the way in the die cut circle. So that is a very helpful thing. Excuse me. I thought I was pretty much over this cold other than being tired, but I can see that it's going to give me the gears tonight. There we go. So that's just folds over there and makes it a cute little tag. Now at the bottom of the tag, I'm going to stamp the Love and Joy with cherry cobbler ink. So this is from the Merriest Trees. And of course, if you purchase the paper and the ink pads, and I mail you the kits, you would have to have your own stamps to do this. You would have to choose your own sentiments from your own stash. Here we go. So we're going to put Love and Joy on here. Let me get my foam mat first, just to be safe. Okay. And this is just going across the bottom here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay. Now for inside the card, I'm going to take another piece of white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to stamp the Hoping Your Home is Filled with the Spirit of the Season on there. Let's see, this is going to be a little too small. I need a bigger block. Here we go. So again with the cherry cobbler, and that's going in the middle here. I think I've got my stamp a little crooked here. I should have done my trick of laying it out and then picking it up, because it is curved and I did not intend that, but there you go. It is what it is. So clean that off. Okay. Now back to our assembly here. So I've got my card front. I realize I need to grab my twine again too. So I'm going to put a little bit of twine on my piece here. And I just cut a little bit. This would come with your kit, of course. This is a retired product, so I would send that with your kit. I'm going to poke this through here. And then I'm going to tie a knot, but bring it back down here, right down tight to the end of my tag. So I'm just going to push gently down to push the knot right here at the end of my tag. Okay, and then I can trim that off. There we go. So now here's our card. This is going to go on the front here. I'm going to use some dimensionals to apply my full-sized tree, not the biggest tree, but a full green tree here. So I'm going to use mini dimensionals because I think that's easier to work with this little tree. Here we are. Marilyn will talk about it. I have only so much of the paper, so I don't know that I can send. Do you have the designer series paper? We'll have to talk about it. Okay, so this can go on here. Then I'm going to do my little star. Actually, I'm going to do it with just a glue dot. If I can find them. Here we go. And here. So that goes on the front. And now we're just going to apply our tag here to the front. Of course, you could use this tag and it would make a great gift tag for the holidays as well. And then this is just going to be centered on the front here. And my little tree here is going to get glued on the inside of the card. So I'm just going to apply some adhesive. Again, using the silicone mat means I can go off the end there and I don't need to worry because the adhesive isn't going to get everywhere. And then this is just going to come in here along the edge. So this is the way I used those trees that were on the edge of the designer series paper so that that would work. So now we're going to put this inside the card. And there we go. So that is card number 1. So one of the things I like about this is once you've cut your trees and things out from the designer series paper, this is pretty quick and easy to make. You could easily do lots of cards for the holidays using the trees and things from this designer series paper. Now the second card I'm going to do is using, Garden Green card base. And I want to show you. So Tracy, she's here tonight. Tracy sent me this card, which is just gorgeous, and I loved it. And I basically cased Tracy's card to make the second one here tonight. So I have my Garden Green card base, and I'm going to use the snowflake embossing folder on some white cardstock. Does anybody recall what the correct name is for this embossing folder? Because I can't recall it at the moment. There we go. So that's going on the front. I'm going to just fold and burnish this. Should have done that first. Okay. So now I have my green deckled circle. And the way I cut this out is, thank you, Catherine, Snowflake Sky 3D. I laid the circle 1 3/4 inches, so that the edge of it was 1 3/4 inches. So I cut my cardstock. I actually cut it at 4 inches, so I had a little extra left. And then the edge of the circle was 1 3/4 inches past my cardstock. So I used my grids. No, the Softly Falling Snow, Nancy, was an older one. So I put my cardstock at 1 3/4 inches, and the edge of the deckled circle just reached the edge of my paper. So that made the full circle there. So that's how I measured it. I measured the distance from the cardstock to the edge of the paper here. So that I could get the circle the size I wanted. And then this is going on top of here. A double cased card. Well, that's good, Tracy. I'm all good with that. Okay. So I'm just lining this up with the edge of the white here. And then I'm going to take my tree that is cut on the edge of the paper again. I'm going to apply some adhesive here. And that is going on the edge here. And I'm going to use some dimensionals for this one. And it's going to pop up over the top here, like so. And then my bear is going to have adhesive on the head and a dimensional on the back. I've hidden my dimensionals in plain sight again. Here they are underneath here. Yes, the trees in the circle are beautiful. So this is going to go on here. Okay, now I'm going to take my sentiment strip. I cut a piece that was, where did I put it? 5/8 of an inch. I cut a piece of white that was 5/8 of an inch, and now I have lost it. There it is. Here. So I'll get my foam mat again. And this time I'm going to go with the Garden Green ink and the Merry Christmas stamp from the Very Cute stamp set. So just going to ink this up. I should move over. I'm getting out of camera here a little bit. This is going to go to the right edge. Here we are. We'll clean that up. And then I'm just going to snip this edge a bit. So I'm going to take this in a little bit here. And I want this to come across. So I'm going to just flag this end a bit here. And this is going down flat. And I'm going to tuck it a little bit under my tree. Let's see, where do I like it here? I think, do you know what? I think I'm going to shorten my end a little bit. There. Now let's just see here. There we go. So that's going down flat, and then I'm going to take the pearls. Where did I put them? Here they are. So these are the blooming pearls. And I'm using the gold ones here. Let's get that back where it belongs. Over here. There we go. So I'm using gold pearls on here. I'm going to do one large one up here. And I'm going to do one large one over here. And then I'm going to do 3 little ones on my tree here. 1, 2, 3. So those are the blooming pearls. I got to get those back on my thing here. And then the inside of the card, I'm just going to add another sentiment. So I think just realizing I did use a different sentiment set. So for this one, I pulled out this stamp set. This is from last year, but it's still current. And I used Hoping Your Christmas Shines Bright with the Love of Family and Friends, which I quite like. Here we go. So this one I'm using the Garden Green ink again because that's my color theme for this card. Oops, made a bit of a mess here, so I'm going to stamp off because I got it a little uneven. This one seems to be really sensitive to pressure on the ink pad. So you have to be careful not to get heavy on one side and light on the other. So I'm trying to be careful with that. And there I was a little too light. Let's try it one more time here. Two sides of the paper for a reason, right? These are cute cards for Christmas. There we go. Now I got it. I did get it a little bit shaded. So I've got a little heavier at the top than the bottom. So I don't know why. For some reason, this stamp is a little bit tricky, but I like the sentiment, so. Okay, so this is now going inside. Okay, and there are our two cards for tonight. So I made these two cards. I think there are, you know, this is a great designer series paper. You could do lots of things with it. As I said at the beginning, if you wish to order the designer series paper and the two ink pads, then I will send you the kits free. That offer is available for a week. The designer series paper is in stock right now. I checked, but hopefully it won't run out because that would be disastrous. Anyway, thanks for being with me tonight. I appreciate it. I love having your company. It's always fun to stamp with other people. And I hope that you'll come back and see me again next Tuesday. Take care, friends. Bye-bye now.